Hello, and welcome to Board Boss. Today, we're going to be playing an exciting game. I have a really cool game that we're going to start, but I'm first testing to make sure that the stream is working, because I was a little concerned. This is not aimed where it needs to be. Look at me. Great. Okay. So, it's still aimed weird. Sorry, everybody. You're going to have a little bit of a weird thing going on here. So, today, I'm just getting myself all situated here. How's it going, everyone? Just realized my stream monitor was not set up, so 1 second while I get that sorted out. So today, it's been a while since we've streamed. It's, I think this is, what has it been, about 14 days. We had the opening of the Shakespeare Festival is why we haven't had an opportunity to stream the last couple of weeks. It's always sort of it's a big experience whenever we start up a Shakespeare Festival. There's a lot of setup, there's a lot of prep, and so I just haven't been able to do as much as I had hoped I would be able to. So that's unfortunately just kind of the situation as it stands. I've been getting ready to head off to Birmingham, which is why, as you can see behind me, there's like not a lot of stuff back there anymore. That's just sort of the situation as it is. I'm thinking about getting like a big Board Boss banner to sort of fill that void for everyone. You know, hopefully, if I get my stream manager up here, I can see who's on and what's going on. Hi, everybody. Okay. Weird. Oh no, that looks about right. Huh. My viewer is just really strange. Very odd. Anyway, hi everybody, or anybody who's watching. This is a beta test or an alpha test. Like I was saying, I have just been getting everything set up to be going to Birmingham, or Stratford-upon-Avon is actually where we're going to be. It's kind of a long, this is, you know, I might as well put this online, but, you know, it's a weird process, right? Because you get accepted, and then from there, it just kind of continues, right? Like I got accepted to this international university. Now I have to set up a bank account. For some reason, every time I set up a schedule, they call me on a different time. I've missed their call like 3 times. So I've just set up another interview. Hopefully that they'll actually call me at the right time. Because by miss their call, I mean they call me at like 5 in the morning and I'm not awake. So there's been that happening. Today is going to be our first stream back since a little bit of a break. I had about a 14-day break while we were setting up for the Shakespeare Festival. Shakespeare Festival is currently running. Last night we had a gala event, and that was our opportunity to get to meet our ambassador a little bit more. Their name's Macy Jacob Siloshan, and they're in Shadow and Bone, and we saw them actually perform at the Globe in As You Like It. And, you know, to our joy, they agreed to come over for our Shakespeare Festival, and that they've been here and they saw both of the shows that we have running, and they are doing a Q&A tonight. And, you know, so I'm just getting ready for that. I've got a big day today, a lot of board game playing. So I've got this game for however long this stream's going to be. And then we're going to play Sentinels of the Multiverse with a couple of friends, and then we're going straight over to that Q&A. So I'm here with you guys. This is hopefully Mobile Suit gets on, because this is actually a game that my twin, Mobile Suit, got me connected with. And what's cool about this game, it's called The Living Maze. And I'll put it here so you guys can see this game. This is a beta test. This person has put out the game, and hold on. Information. So in this beta test, hi everybody again, I'm back. So as you can see, this is going to be kind of a basic setup. You're just going to see me here on this side, and then the board is here. The beta test comes with this awesome box, and I think this might be the creator. I was just pulling up the, come on. was pulling it up. So Dan Fedelmeyer is the game designer, and he's also the one that did all the colors and illustrations. And then the monster boss, trap, and artifact illustrations are by a man named Mike Dreyer. And this game, my twin, Mobile Suit, was saying that he just happened to be at a game store and was asked by the creator of this game if he'd like to play, and he said it was really fun. And then he got in touch with the creator for me and got this copy of the game so that I can try it out on stream. Now, I'm going to play this multiple times. I'm probably going to do a couple of runs. We'll see how it goes. This is kind of a roguelike dungeon delving game for one player. And it has rules for multiple players. But this game, I mean, for a game that is not fully produced, like it's not completely created, this little box is great. Everything fits in here. It's a really nice, clean box. It had all of the components. And you'll see here, this is the game mat that is actually built for the game. And so this comes with the game, but it also has an optional card where if you don't have this game mat, you also have all of the information that you're going to need. Now, I've only played it. This is really going to be like I keep playing with my hair because I see a little floopy doop. This is really going to be kind of a first look, first impressions video and stream. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and pull them up in the chat if they come up. But I'm going to be going over kind of the way you set up the game. So in this little box, there's a bunch of components. And I'm going to read, so this is, I don't know what these are for. These are like little check marks. I don't know what they do. But I'm going to read the fun little text that's in here. And one of the things that I've been really excited about in this game is the man that made this game, or the person that made this game, has a very fun sense of humor. And I've really enjoyed pretty much everything that we've been seeing. So I'll just read this. Today seemed to be your lucky day. You purchased a large chunk of beautiful land which contained the most forested forest to ever forested. The crystal streams of rejuvenation, the golden hills of greener pastures, and the ancient barn of hallucinatory hay, for a suspiciously good price. Upon further inspection of the deed, hidden within the fine print was even finer print, stating, whomever shall be lucky enough to own this spacious and beautiful and lovely land henceforth becomes soulbound to the dark and ominous maze located nearby, lovingly referred to as the Living Maze. Finding yourself a bit disconcerted with this information, you do a little research. It turns out the Living Maze earned its name due to its ever-changing floor plan. The ancient texts also make mention of an ancient evil sealed within its ever-changing walls. Curious, you hired a couple of adventurers to explore the mysterious halls of the Living Maze. As they approach the massive front doors, they're greeted by a hooded individual who hands them a magical map they claim will update as the adventurers travel through the hallowed passages. The adventurers hesitantly accept the map, and before they can thank the hooded figure, the figure has disappeared. Willing and wanting to get paid, the adventurers begin their journey, and quite to their surprise, the map does indeed update as if some magical hand has joined them on their journey and is drawing the newly discovered pathways with each room entered and halls traversed. And this is done by Crowbrain Games LLC. And what's cool, I mean, like I was saying, it's got a really, like this looks really well created and manufactured. In fact, it's got the Crowbrain's logo right there. Crowbrain logo's right on the front there. And a really nice QR code to a Google Drive doc, which they're very well edited and understandable rules in it. So, just to kind of set you guys up for what's going on, adventurers, we are, the person that owns the land where the Living Maze is located. And we are hiring adventurers. My adventurers are over here. They exist on this little spot called the Adventurer Die. Now, the game came with a bunch of D10s of different colors. This matters because there are different kinds of dice once we get a little bit further. Again, first impressions, I have only played the week 1 round, and then I cleared it so that we could start again for the stream. Isn't that a cool little box? It's just adorable. Hi, Cascade. Yeah, it's a cute little box, and it's all like really. It's very well organized, and it's taped. Everything fit. It's very cool. The mat does not fit with the box, though. So cool. It's a roguelite dungeon delving card game. So, hi, don't blame me. Good. We actually we started our Shakespeare festival here, our local Shakespeare festival. So it has been like forever since I've streamed, but I've been doing well. Yeah, we opened Julius Caesar on Saturday, and we opened Coriolanus on Friday, and today and yesterday are kind of our days off. We have a Shakespearean. What is it? They are our festival liaison, and they're MJ Siloshan. They've been in Shadow and Bones. Oh, your sub is gone. Oh no. They were in As You Like It at the Globe Theater last year when we went and visited, and they were so nice to. Does that mean? Don't blame me. Is your sub gone? Which means you have to watch ads now. But our Shakespeare liaison has been over here, and sorry, I'm just watching as my significant other walks into the into the kitchen. But so they were here. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been an age. 14 days. Twitch was like, are you going to stream again? Because it had been long enough. Unfortunately, just because we were the week of tech, which is kind of when it started, when I wasn't able to stream, we had a lot of work to do in the space. We had to paint the space. We had to move the seats. We had to figure out our new blocking. We had to do a lot of advertisement and preparation, and I just wasn't tough enough to do all of it at once and stream. So unfortunately, the stream was the thing that got the axe for last week. I'm sorry, don't blame me. We're getting there. So anyway, the way this game works is I am the owner of this living maze, and it is a roguelike maze, which means it's going to populate every run, and it is. Oh yes, I love doing it. The reason that I want to go study Shakespeare in Stratford is because I absolutely adore the Bard's work, and it's the depth of language. So the actual joy of being able to produce it here in the place that I live is just wonderful. Right? Yeah, that happened. So we're doing, that whole Trump getting attempted assassination. It's interesting because we're doing Julius Caesar, which is about a group of conspirators that assassinate a political rival. And actually, the day that Trump was shot, we were doing Julius Caesar, and it was a question for the company of if we still wanted to produce, knowing that was what was that had just happened. So we decided to go through with it and to do it. It actually, one of the wonderful things about the Bard's works, and this is what our artistic director thinks too, is that he doesn't really. Hello, Mobile Suit. It was opening night. That was Saturday. The Bard doesn't really. Shakespeare doesn't seem to put right or wrong or good or bad. He doesn't judge the characters, and the story of Julius Caesar. There's really not. It doesn't put a positive light on political assassinations. In fact, it brings up a bunch of questions about the efficacy of such an action. And so we believed that doing the show, even under the circumstances in our country, was still a valuable thing, and that it was more of a prescient moment. It was opening night. Hello, Mobile Suit. Hey, I'm finally playing the Living Maze, Mobile Suit. Mobile Suit's the one that hooked me up with this game. So, yeah. So I love it. It's really good. I'm going to see if I can close the windows if I get a little bit less foggy. our area of the world is just on fire. Yeah, so Mobile Suit, pay at least a little bit of attention. I know you're at work, but if I do this completely wrong, please let me know if I've just completely messed it up. So, I don't know. This camera's okay. This is my Pixel 4 XL camera. This one that is on me right now, and it just looks like there's fog in front of it, and I've cleaned the camera. I don't know. Anyway, we'll just put up with it. So the way this game works is it goes through a series of weeks from 1st to 8. That's over here on this tracker. You can see I'm starting on the first week. I'm going to use this little red guy to show that that's what I'm doing. And you start the first week always with 2 adventurers, and that's represented by 2 black die. And it doesn't really tell you what your adventurers are. I'm not going to play on easy mode, but they're just dudes that you've hired to come and explore this place with you. And the way that this functions is, as I explore the map, the first week is always sort of a random week. And there are, in this game, how many bosses? 10 bosses? I don't know. So there's... Yeah, it might be the lighting with the camera. That's okay. I can try. Here, let me see. Let me see if I turn down the white. I'm pretty pale, so if I make it less white, maybe that will help. I've got a mess. I've got such a mess over here. Okay. Did this make it better? Does it look less foggy? No, now I just look more yellow. That's okay. Yeah, it has been crazy. There's been a lot of news. We've got, Judge Cannon just threw out the Trump document case. We've got the assassination attempt, Biden's questionable, people questioning Biden's efficacy in office. We've got all this stuff going on. It's been a wild couple of weeks. It does look the same, doesn't it? In fact, I think it looks worse. Well, you guys can see this okay. I'm not as important. I'll just be a very, yellow person over here. Maybe I can... Hang on. Hold up. Solutionizing. Just imagine there's cool music happening right now. I'm gonna mess with this camera. I'm going to use this camera. Everybody paying attention. You guys can hear it now. Hi everybody. This is just to entertain you while I'm sorting it out. The solution, of course, would have been to do this before I started streaming, but I didn't realize how much it would annoy me while I was streaming. So now you guys all get to be here, and I'll see how well this works. There's that. How quickly can I change my setup? We'll see. I'm trying to get it so that... Nope. It's Board Boss Braille. Do. Where can I fix it? How do I do it? Here. Now you guys can still see. Nope. It's not. It's not liking me. Fine. I'm just gonna give up, everybody. I'm gonna just live with it, okay? We'll all just live with it. I'm the only one that seemed to care anyway. Everything is fine. It's all fine. Never mind. Never. I can't see myself. There we go. Okay. Now I can see myself, sort of. It's the wrong way. It's the right way. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Everything's fine. It's all fine. Can I go this way? Which way do I have to go? This way. This is sort of the middle. Okay. And we're back. Okay. That was exciting, wasn't it? I did literally nothing. Okay. So anyway, so we're playing this game. This is The Living Maze. It's a roguelike game. We're going to be trying it out. The game comes with... That's what I was just on. Oh, yeah, that would be what I should do. I should totally do that. Don't blame me. That is a great idea. Next time, I think I think that would be a great thing because I run into this problem where I want to stream or I want to do some content for the channel, but getting the game ready and getting the rules organized and understanding how I'm playing and what's going to happen, yada yada, all that. It becomes such a large project that I can't find little bits of time to do those things. And being able to put my old streams on YouTube and scheduling them and letting everybody know about them, that's the way. I think that is exactly what I should be doing. Okay. So, this is going to be a little interesting. So you guys can see on the board, these are all of the bosses. And kind of what's cool about this is, so there's 9 bosses in total. I don't know why. Maybe Mobile Suit can tell me why this one is has a cat, like toaster strudel card protector on it. It's the only one. It's Smorkum. It also is like a doofy, funny face that's like, hey, hey. So I don't know what the point of Smorkum is, but he's there. So these are the 9. And there's one that called Living Taco. We'll find out exactly what it is. The way that you set up is these 9 all get shuffled together. So you shuffle these together and you just randomize them. Like so. And then you're supposed to just kind of pick one at random. Again, there's this one that is the the cat back that I can't like hide. So I'm gonna pull it out. And we'll put that to the side so that when I return this, it doesn't get confused. So we're going to shuffle those up. And whichever one is on that I pull out of here is going to be, we'll take this one. That is going to be our final boss. And he's the big, bad, ancient evil that's in this maze. And we don't know who he is to start with. And there are 22 basic starting cards for the maze. These are rooms and traps and baddies. And you're supposed to split them into 11 cards, which I'm just going to do that like so. I don't know what's going on. There we go. So I'm going to do that like so. Really really hate this camera at the moment, but that's okay. So I've got 2 piles of 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. I've got my boss monster. This is my big bad boss. I'm going to put him on one of the stacks of 11, shuffle it up. So now I know that on the bottom half of this deck is going to be the boss somewhere random. Then the other 11 go on top, and I have created my main deck. This little black meeple is going to be my guy, and hopefully you guys can see him as he moves around. I take the other boss cards and set them to the side. They're just off of the playing space. And now what we're going to do is we start exploring the dungeon. Now we don't know in the maze. Oh, so this is where my dice pool is supposed to be. So we have 0 experience, we have 0 sparks, and we are on our first week. A couple of things to note. As I kill stuff or face it or whatever I get to do as I go through the maze, I'm going to be earning experience points. When I get 6 experience, it's going to turn into a spark down here. For each spark at the beginning of a run, which is the beginning of a week in this game, I can spend sparks to buy feats or party boons. And what they do is based on what the classes are. I can't get any right now on this first run, so we're not going to worry about it. Do we lend board games to each other a bit like how my nan lends and gets puzzles from her friends? So my twin, Mobile Suit, specifically said, hey, you should play this game because it's cool. And so they've lent it to me. What I tend to do is I have this stockpile of games, and if somebody wants to play them or borrow them, I'd be more than happy to lend them. I actually have, I have a friend's game, Runebound. It's back there. It doesn't matter. But I have a game right now that is lent from a friend. And yeah, I mean, don't blame me. At the end of the day, sometimes these games cost like $60 to $100. So, like just buying it to play it once is tough. That's part of the reason I started the stream, in fact, was I bought all these games and I wanted to share with people, you know, the experience of playing them and how they played. And I also wanted to give myself sort of a reason to spend money on more games that I might not play multiple times. So there's 2 things. One is I am on so the first option about Don't Blame Me asks, what's going to happen when I leave with all these games? I have more than 150 board games. The first option is I'm going through them and I've been playing them on stream, the ones I play on stream, to try to determine if I want to keep them or not. And any game that I'm not going to keep, I'm going to be donating to an organization that I am a fan of. It's called Nerd Mentality, and it's kind of a country club for nerds out here in Eastern Oregon. And it's not up and running yet, but they are accepting donations, and they want a board game library, and it will make all those games available for whoever is part of Nerd Mentality to play. So that's the don't want them anymore, get rid of them option. And then if I want to keep them, I have actually, you can't see, maybe you can if I like lean and move the chair. So there's boxes back here. There we go. You can see there's like, so this is just one box of games, but I've been boxing the games up. They're the first thing that gets boxed just because they're the most of the things I own. So if I box up board games and books, I'm almost done packing. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm only there for a year, unless something outrageously awesome happens and I get to stay, I'll be coming back and I'll have all my stuff here. Or I'll buy a shipping container and ship them to the UK if I get a long-term job there and get to stay. But if I don't get a long-term job there and I don't get to stay, I will be coming back here. Just like I have a vehicle, I have a truck that I'm not going to sell. I'm going to put it in storage at my folks' house for a year. And then when I get back, I can assess then what I'm going to do with it. But as the amount of money I've spent on games is much greater than the cost of shipping them to the UK would be, like renting a container and getting them shipped to a port in London. So that's probably what will happen if something like, actually comes of that. So on to the game. Now that I've answered that question, So I've got these two dudes. They are my two black dice. They're here. They're D10s. Everything is a D10. And on your turn, let's see, is there anything else I need to kind of go over? So on my turn, I have 4 options. The first one is kind of what you do every round, or every, the majority of turns. And that's going to be that I flip this top card over. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know how much it actually is. Don't blame me. It's probably $10,000 worth of games. And if I have 150 and each game is about $80, we're getting up there. So, yeah, it's like $8,000 to $9,000 worth of games at least. I don't want to part with them. And a lot of them, I've got a bunch of my games I have that are Kickstarter or limited edition ones, and I have a couple of games that are worth like $500 because they're in such good condition and they're out of print. Yada yada. I'd never get them back. I'd never be able to find another game like that. So I don't want to just get rid of them. So the 4 options I have. First one is the basic option of every round, and that's what I'm going to do right now. And what you do is you draw a card from the top, and then you place it. And as soon as you place it, all of the cards have paths on them. So like you can see here in the entrance card, there's a door here. And this card, which I got ceiling spikes, which again, probably small for you guys. I'm going to try to keep my hands away from it a little bit so you can see. But you should be able to get the general idea that this is a T-shaped corridor going north and south with a alleyway off to the west here. And these trap cards, Carmen says I. So these trap cards get placed, and oh no. Oh, please, everyone, let him know if he is the only one that's getting super choppy video. My stream manager does not look choppy, but I don't know. So this is a ceiling spike trap. Great. Great. Thank you, Bumtronaut. What a cool name. Okay. Mobile Suit. The chat concurs that you are the only one with that issue. Hi! Hi, Bumtronaut. It wasn't my intention to make it look like I'm sepia, but today apparently my camera's decided I'm sepia toned. No, I did not design this game. This game, no, I am phenomenally impressed with the designer of this game. This game is designed, so I keep looking at my phone. That's because it's on here. So this is Dan Fedelmeyer of Crowbrain Games LLC. They have done this game. This is a beta test of their game. And what's crazy is this doesn't feel, we haven't played much yet, but it doesn't feel like a beta of a game. This game is really tight already. And I want to, we'll get into that a little bit, but this box is pretty. It's got this beautiful mat that they've made. The cards are really high quality. These are clearly a print, like a really nice print run of the cards. I'm very impressed with this whole game. I did not design it. It's not mine. I'm testing it out, and I was really lucky and fortunate enough that Crowbrain Games let me try it out on my stream. So that's what we're doing. I did not make the game. I don't have the rights to it. I'm just playing it. It is rad. So I just hit a trap card. So this is my first turn. When you play a card, you have to, like most of these games where you're building a map, right? It has to connect to your path. So right now I'm at the entrance. I'm going to make it connect so I can just come north here. And as soon as you place a card, yeah, I've got a lot of video games too, but not physical, so I don't have to deal with them like I do my board games. So my little meeple guy has moved up into this place here, and it is a ceiling spike trap. Now my party, this meeple is my party. My party has an opportunity now. They can either attempt to bypass the trap, which means I just get to move through it. And how I symbolize that is I'll just step up. Or I can attempt to disarm it. Now, when I disarm it, when I was talking about how well designed this game is, even though it's really small for you guys to read, these little boxes here are telling me that information. To disarm it, I use 1d10. And because the living maze is an entity that enjoys causing suffering and pain, it improves as the weeks go on. So this is the first week, so it's the easiest it is. The number I have to get on a d10 to disarm it is 2 or higher. So I'm going to roll my d10 and hope for a 2 or more. I got a 2, which means I disarmed this trap. So for that, I'm going to put a blue token in the middle of the trap card to signify that I've disarmed it. It's no longer a threat. And I get 1 experience point for disarming this ceiling trap. So my XP tracker goes up 1, and then we're moving on to the next turn. My other options, so you guys are aware of them, are I can move to an existing card and resolve that card if necessary. So in the event that I had not disarmed this trap, I could have moved back to this card and I would have had to deal with it when I came back. And then third, if a path from the entrance to the final boss has been created, you may move to the final boss standee or move the final boss standee to your player to fight the final boss. So the final boss room is way up here, up there. When the boss spawns, he'll spawn up there. And my goal is, well, the only way I can really lose is if I connect the boss room to the entrance and the boss, this giant red meeple, if the boss makes it out, then I lose. So we will come to that when we get there. So now, my final thing is I can exit the maze. So like I said, this is a roguelike game, and it's played in weeks. And each run, each week, we face the challenges, we get the benefits that we can get of them if, whatever we can get, whether they're artifacts or what have you. But once we leave the maze, it resets and it is going to reconfigure itself to be something new. So for now, our first week run, we're just exploring the maze. We just purchased this chunk of land and we don't really know what's going on, but apparently our souls have been linked to this maze and now we have to deal with it. So I'm going to keep doing what is, I'm sorry, don't blame me. So we're going to continue doing what is kind of the basic move of this game. And that means flipping over a card and seeing what it does. So this is a corridor room. And you can see there's 2 routes I could put it. I can put it coming this way and going to the left, or I can put it upside down, and it does the exact same thing. So it doesn't really matter. One of the things I've noticed about this game that I think is really cool is passages like this, even though this is an empty passage and there's no enemies here on this passage, hopefully you guys can see this clearly enough. It's all very far away from my monitors, so I don't know. Ooh, my significant other's pizza's here. So here we have a little box that says you can roll a d10 to search this room, which I'm going to do because I don't see any problem. So I'm going to roll a d10. I'm going to throw it all the way on the other side of the thing. So I got an 8. And on this card, an 8 gets me nothing. On a 1 to 3, so any of these rooms that don't have monsters or traps or anything special about them, they always have the option that you can maybe get a secret passageway, which, again, I am confused about how much you guys can see. These 2 passageways go this way and this way. They're not connected. But if I found one, pizza time. That's right. So if I found the passageway, I can connect these 2 hallways and have an easier route. The other thing you can get is you can find somebody, you can find a training dummy, or you can find information about an upcoming trap and disarm it for free. Oh my God, thank you! Boomatronot! Bumtronot. I got you right, not Boomatronot. Boomatronot. Twitch streamers, man. Every time I watch a real, legit streamer and they just instantly rattle off people's usernames, I'm impressed with them because I suck at it so bad. Don't blame me was don't blame me for a very long time. So, Bumtronot. So anyway, so here we are. that's been my second turn. We're going to keep moving. I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Pretty much this game, I'm going to be flipping this card over every round and kind of just dealing with what it is until we get to something more important. So now I have a question, and I don't know what the answer is. So this is a monster. It is Toothy the Gremlin, and it's a crazy-looking little gremlin. It looks like somebody got water on this one. And it's only got an entrance on the north and the south, but I cannot get there. And this was... You're still don't blame a meme. Like I said, I have my phone out because the only instruction manual is a QR code, which is very good, very easy. But I am trying to get... Trying to figure out what I do. So if the card can be connected to your path and you have no one resolved, play the new card, move to and resolve as necessary. Oh! Okay. So... because my only paths that are available right now are right here and right here, this card that goes to the north or south, I cannot connect to my current path, which means I put it in the hold section. And that means I draw another card. And one of the options I have on my turn now is I can place this held card into the dungeon as an option. And thank you, Mobile Suit. So I got just a big open room with two entrances to the left and the right. So I move into that room and we're going to search. I got a 1, which means I have a secret passage. Now, the game's specific about, like, this is a secret passage on these cards specifically. When there's a card like this where there's 2 solid doors here, I can put a secret passage either to the north or the south. And I decide. The thing it mentions, and it hasn't mattered to me yet, but the final boss is going to, once it connects to the entrance, going to attempt to get out. So when I make a secret entrance like this, I'm opening myself up so I can play my card that's in the held area, but I am also creating a path for the boss, which may or may not be a good idea. Again, first time I played it, so we're going to find out. So that was that turn. Walked into this big empty room and messed around. Found a torch that was a little looser than the other ones and put it back in its sconce all nice and tight. And a passage to the north opened up. So now... I'm going to... use this monster because we've got a monster and I want to fight him. So every monster is on a room and has this little stat block. So it has a defensive 2, which means I have to hit it. Defensive 2 means I have to roll a 2 or higher to hit it. A health of 2, which means I have to hit it twice. An attack of 1, which means if I don't kill it, it's going to hurt one of my dice. And XP of 1. So I've got this secret passage that now is connected here. And I am going to try to fight this boss. Now I have 2 dice. And there is an option in this game, which I think is kind of a fun thing. I can either roll for it and just fight him normally, or on the first round, I can choose to showboat. And to showboat, you have to have as many dice, at least, as the monster has health, which I have 2, and it has 2 health. And I only have to roll 2 or greater on a d10. So I've got a pretty good chance. Now, when you showboat, it gives you a slightly better reward than if you just fought him. So when you just fight him, you just get the experience. But when you showboat, you get to look at the artifact deck and put 1 face up. Now, that doesn't mean I get an artifact. You only get artifacts for defeating mini bosses. But the more face-up cards are in the artifact deck, the more I can choose from when I do have the opportunity to gain an artifact. Right, each dice is 1 HP. Exactly. Well, what they are, so for me, they're my HP, but they also represent adventures. Each of these little black dice is an adventure. This is adventure 1, his name is Frank. This is adventure 2, her name is Denise. So there's Frank and Denise. And let's say I fought this guy and I rolled my dice and I didn't kill the little gremlin. He would get to deal damage to me. And what that means is, in the story of the game, one of Denise or Frank either gets wounded, and when they're wounded, they come down here, and I no longer have that dice to roll with until the week is up, or I hit a healing pool, which is scattered in the maze. So we're going to try to showboat. So here we go. I'm going to roll both my dice, and we're looking for 2s. I got a 3 and an 8, which means both of them hit. So now I've defeated this monster. I'm going to throw a little red. It comes with these nice clear see-through coins. So I throw a little red guy on that monster to say, hey, I killed him. And I gain the experience, which is 1 XP. I'm up to 2 experience. And then I get the bonus for showboating. Now, I'm just running up here to make sure. Yep. Okay. So I get to look through all of the artifact cards and put one face up on the top. Now, anybody who's watched my stream knows I don't want to think much. So instead, I'm just going to look at him and see which one I think is the niftiest looking and put that on top. And then I'll read what its effect does. So there's a ring, blade, some cool lightning gloves. Oh, I'm sorry. Lightning gloves have got to be it. I don't know what they do. We'll find out now. So I'm going to put lightning gloves on top. They are the gauntlets of fastest attacks. And they are lightning gloves. And during the first round of combat with a boss, you may make 2 attacks instead of 1. There we go. Where? Camera. Find the camera. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to put that on top. So when I get an artifact, I have the choice of getting the gauntlets of fastest attack. So my guy's up here with this monster. We're going to keep going. Next card. Okay, it's a north-south giant open room. Frank and Denise move into that room, and one of them is going to search it to see if there's a secret passage or something cool. I rolled a 2, which means there's a secret passage. Now, again, we're talking about preparation and thinking ahead, and is this going to come back and bite me in the butt? Probably. But I'm going to put a secret passage on the right side there so that I've got some more options. Because right now I have a left, so for flipping a card in places that it can go. I have an option on the top, I have a left option here, and I have a left option here. And now, because of the secret passage, I have a way to the right. So now we're going to flip another card and see what it is. It is another kind of dual room. So I'm going to have to get down here. So I'm going to put this here on the left side of this so I get another north, which means my little dude. All right, go play. Boss monster only moves once on his turn, right? But the boss isn't out yet. He comes out when you find him in the first round. So now this guy goes doop, 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 and he's going to be in this room. And now we'll use Frank. Frank, look in that room. Frank finds nothing. Denise is better at searching than Frank is. Goodbye, don't blame me. Go replay 2077, I get it. Ooh, it's a monster. Look away. Look away, Cascade. It's Stricket, the big old rat. So we're going to go right her. And it's Stricket, the big rat. So I have to go face him. So I move across this way, down, and then over into his space. He has a defense of 2, health of 2, attack of 1, and XP of 1, which is fine. Because what I want to do is get more experience. I want to get at least 1 spark in the first week. negatives of restarting, right? Like, so if both my dice died or got wounded, I wouldn't have 2 dice to roll with, which would be bad. So instead, if I can keep my 2 dice throughout the game and get my XP tracker up to a spark, I get to retain that through the weeks. Whereas XP less than 6, you don't get to retain. So my assumption is that I want that. So let's go. So I'm going to roll to fight this guy. Defense of 2, health of 2, and attack of 1. I've got 2 dice. He's got 2 life. We're showboating the heck out of this dude. So we're going to roll both dice. Blam! That's an 8 and a 9, which means Stricadic is dead. And I get another experience, as well as looking through the artifact deck, because I was showboating, and finding the next coolest thing. And the next coolest thing has got to be this sword. So this sword is called the Eternal Blade of Eternity. And it looks like a shamshir with like a slightly smaller shamshir in the blade of every one. And if you attack during the first round of combat is successful, you deal an additional damage. Well, that's cool. And it looks like that. Boom, shamshir. All right. We're finding that there are some baddies in this cave that I've inherited from my great-grandfather. And I keep sending... Denise and Fred keep asking if they can come home, and I keep saying, no! I've paid you for a week. You work for your week. Here is another connected corridor. Now I'm going to place this one here. So now I've got this path. I've got a lot of paths that go out from here. So I get there, and Denise is going to try to search. She gets a 10. Now, what that means... I'm going to use this little green thing to represent it. What that means is I have found information about an upcoming trap. So when it's activated, rather than rolling for it, I can just solve it. Now again, like most of the things in this game, that's not going to last through next week. If I don't use it this week, it's gone. So let's see if I find a trap here. So my next card that I just pulled is a trap. It's Ceiling Spikes. And I'm going to, because we're kind of going in this direction, I'm going to put this here. And one of the things you don't want to do is connect the final boss room until you're ready to fight him. At least I assume. Again, first time playing it, so I don't really know. So my little guys go bloop, bloop. And we are now up in the Ceiling Spike room. And because I just got it, I might as well use it, right? I've got information about that Ceiling Spike. So I just use this little green token, and I'll just put it right on the spike trap. So now I've solved it. I solved it. I still get the experience. Wait. Do I get the experience? One moment, everybody. Waiting for the knowledge. Well, I don't know where it says that I can do that. What does that say? Next trap is disarmed. Okay, just disarmed. I'm going to say I get that experience because it seems like finding the information out and not getting the experience would suck. So we'll see if I just made the game too easy or not. Then I flip again. Ooh, it's another monster. This one is Grognak the Goblin. And it's got a north-south. I've got a lot of connections. I've got a lot of places that these things can go. I've got a north here that I can get to because I can follow this route all the way around to that north. And I have a north up here. So I'm going to do that. There's like a line of monsters battling here. So my guy goes, wee, bloop. Thematically, I really like this game. I have a question already. It seems that you're just kind of wandering aimlessly, and I assume I just got turned around and walked another way and have just come up this path now rather than just exploring one area. That's okay. It just seems like my explorers, I bought cheap ones. I paid for the cheap guys. So this one, this monster, has all the same stats. Actually, he's weaker. He's weaker. He hits harder if I miss. We're showboating the hell out of this guy too. So first round, Denise and Frank have not come up against anybody that can stand up to their pickaxes and hoes. So they're going to roll. They did it. They got 2 attack, which means they killed this goblin. Oh. Well, that was what it... So, Mobile Suit just said you have to pick a place that fits the way you're going. Because what this was... I mean, that definitely makes sense. Maybe I'll do that on the second week. Okay. We got to go down to the rules. I know this is just fascinating. How do the rules actually work? Okay, so the way that it's phrased in the rules, again, it's a beta, so we can figure, but it says you draw the top card of the main deck and connect it to any card path your player, Standy or Meeple, could move to if they were actually wandering the halls. Yeah, that's true. Red Dragon's Lair is a game that we went to Spokon, a convention in Spokane, Washington, and we met the creator of a game who's since passed away, unfortunately. At least I think he passed away. But, like, literally the rule... We ended up emailing him 3 or 4 times to get errata on the correct way that card interaction should be played. So, the way I'm doing it right now is the maze is kind of growing, and I'm just going to whichever path is open. Now, I could say I was over here and I have to find a card that connects right there. The only issue is once you get you have a hold card, you can always play that one. We'll try that for the next one. Yeah. So the way we're doing it, the maze is growing and my guys are just kind of scurrying around finding it. In the rule book, there is an example of how paths work, where if I'm like my guy right now, there is a path from here to any card because of the way that I've been building the maze. But in the example, there's like 4 different paths that are all disconnected from each other. And I don't really know how that would ever happen because I don't know how you play cards that don't connect to you. You can... Once you get past the first week, the game changes a little, and I haven't played that yet, so we'll see. So, anyway, I was showboating this guy. I got 2 more experience, which means I just got up to 6 experience. Did not know he had died. I think he has. He might... Okay, Mobile, you might know, I might have misremembered. I know he had a heart event. I don't remember if he died or not, but I thought that was why that we weren't getting any more expansions for that. Weird game. So I just got 6 experience, which means I get a spark and my experience resets to 0. So I've now officially gained game-long benefits from this run. I will now have a spark at the beginning. So now we're going to see where the maze grows. This one is kind of a bummer because it locks me off. So the way that I will play this, because we were just discussing like how the maze builds itself, I will connect it to the nearest feasible connector on the map every time I flip. And my guys will just go there. So that's how we'll do it, the closest connection. So I just moved up into another one of these. This is a dead end now. So I guess I explore it for my turn. It was an 8, which doesn't get me anything. So now I just keep going and I flip another card. Here's another one. This is the closest connection. Doing this motion. And we're going to explore that room again. Ooh! Ooh! I found a training dummy in that empty room, and I get 1 experience for that. Just keep playing cards, I suppose. All right. So now we've got Olarg the Wolva Mummy. Wow. Olvarg the Wolva Mummy. He has 3 defense, which means I have to roll over a 3, 1 health, and 2 attack. And he is a right-facing entrance, and the only connecting thing I have that can go to the right is right there. So my little dude is going to go wee over here. This way. And to fight the Wolva Mummy. Now, I have 0 idea why I wouldn't showboat if I can, and I can. He's only got 1 life, and I have to roll 3. So let's try to showboat. I got 1-3, which is enough damage to kill him. So I get that, and then I get the experience, which I've already forgot. Oh, it was 1. Oh, there goes all the little things. So I got that Wolva Mummy. He was a terrifying lycanthropic mummy man. And I get 1 more experience. And we just keep going. This just keeps playing. Hey, a well. It won't help me any. So that is a healing well. The healing wells give you an opportunity to get your dice back, but I've not lost any. So I'm not going to use it yet. I'm just going to keep going. Let's see what the next one is. This one is another open, empty room. So Denise, get to it. Start looking. Denise doesn't find anything. She's getting a little tired. It's been a long week. So then we continue. There's another healing well. Like I said, it's the closest spot that I can connect it to. I'm not going to use the healing well. Next one. Oh my God, it's a living taco. This is the final boss. Is a living taco. It's kind of terrifying. So its ability is the final boss's required successes is reduced by 1 die for each artifact you own to a minimum of 2. And the flavor text is, come get some crispity crunchy tacos down at the Living Tacos Taco Shop. Yeah, nah, I think I'll pass, says some random dude. So what is cool about the bosses, so this is what, I've actually showed you what the Living Taco looks like. What's cool about the bosses is they have, wow, that's like really out of focus. There's a Living Taco on there. He's green and he's got weird fingers. A living taco. It's like where the meat would be is just chopped up fingers coming out of that taco. And it's got little teeth. So on these cards, this now is up here. And on these cards, there are 2 different things. Every boss has a final boss column, and then a column that tells you how strong they are based on how many artifacts you've successfully got. Because the living maze as a entity that exists wants to make your life harder, and it wants to see what happens if it empowers the adventurers as well as the enemies. So the stronger the adventurers get with the more artifacts, the stronger the living taco will become. Fortunately, I don't have any, so it doesn't make it terrible, but that's, I guess, what's going to happen. So now it's there. So now we're on to So now, because I'm still in the first round, normally what would happen, I had to read what was going on. Normally what would happen is I would get a turn and then it would get a turn, and the maze builds out from both the boss and me. So now the boss, I'm going to put the meeple out. So the boss has a spot right there, and his meeple comes up here. Now, on my turn, because it's the tutorial, I get to just keep drawing cards if I wish, which I will. So we'll see if we can get 2 sparks right off the get-go. So that's a ceiling trap, or a ceiling spike trap. I'll put it right there. Ceiling spike trap, which means on week 1, I have to roll better than a 2 to disarm it. So we're going to try to disarm it. I got a 2, which means I get to disarm it, which gets me 1 experience. Here's another twisty, turny passage, which will be a dead end for me over there. And one moment, I'm going to have to put us on pause for a second. I'm getting a call from my... And we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Weird. One of the things that happens when you're setting up to go across to a different country, every time you buy something in a different country, your bank gets mad at you and thinks that it's fraudulent, which is good. I'd rather that than they don't think anything's fraudulent. Oh, it's an ad break. Perfect. So we're up there. Actually, you can see that pretty nicely, actually. You can really see where those paths are. Good. Okay, so I'm up here in this lost room, which doesn't matter. It's another ceiling spike trap. I guess we'll connect it right there. So now I go... Plop. So I'm going to roll to try to disarm it. I got it. That is 1 more experience. I'm close to having 2 sparks. Excellent. What a good ad break. So, I just disarmed that ceiling spike trap. Now, I've got 3 more cards. Now, if these 3 more cards are good for me, I might be able to get a 2nd spark at the very beginning of the first week, which would be really good. Yeah, but the monster can't move. So, in the rules, it says, week 1, upon revealing the final boss, place him in the final boss card. You do not need to... Oh, I have to connect. That's what I have to do. I have to connect this to a location... like that. He doesn't start in the final boss room on this. I found him just in the dungeon, and now he's going to move and try to get to me. Okay then. So okay. Whoa. So to hit him, you have to get a 4 or up. Crazy. He's really strong. We're not going to fight him. He's moved where I am a little afeared. So Denise and Frank saw this living taco, terrifying abomination from the depths of hell. Yeah, it needs 4 or more. And they're going to run away because one of the options is to run away. You can just leave. Oh, I can't just leave. So, okay. So because the final boss is now in the way of my escape route, I have to continue trying to get away. Which means I'm going to flip another card and just keep running away. So this card was a path card. And I could step up here and I could try to resolve it. I got a 5, which does nothing. And now it's the boss's turn. And he's going to take one gross, gnarly, taco-filled step in to that room. And this one I did get rid of. So then, we're going to flip over. And that's not a card I can place because I'd have to resolve the boss room. So I have to flip this one. And now... Oh, he doesn't go for me? Oh no. Okay. So the boss went bloop. So then he would have walked this way. Oh, I should have done this slightly different. So if he had stepped... He's trying to get out. Yeah. So he's here now. So if I flip this over... So it doesn't... If I put this here, I have to go to it, which means I'd have to face the boss. Right? Okay, so I can put this here and have to interact with the boss. And I'm going to now have to look at the rules of dealing with the bosses, which is okay, they're not very long. So, when I fight a boss... Come on, phone! Work with me! Okay, so... I'm going to run away. So I have to roll a die. It is not higher than the boss's attack value, which is 3, which means I take a wound. So Frank goes down. So Frank took a wound, and now, regardless of the result, as long as you are not defeated, you run away. Move your standee to any resolved room as long as it does not require going through an unresolved room, including this card. Yeah, how do I... Yeah, I'm going to run away the Meeple Man. Okay, so exiting. There we go. Okay, I can voluntarily... Okay, so I ran away. I took a wound. I'm going to run away. I'm going to voluntarily leave. So I move the standee to the entrance room card. Bloop. Then I return all played cards and all cards in the hold space to the main deck, then shuffle the deck. Okay, so... Okay, so everything goes back to the main deck. I'm going to run away. I'm going to leave the maze. Fuck this place. I don't want it. I don't like it. I'm not about it. Fortunately, the boss guy is just trapped. He's trapped in the maze now because I left before he could get out. So there's all the living maze back. Then I return all the dice to the front that I lost back to the pool. I reset the XP tracker to 0. I add an adventure dice to my pool. So now I have a third adventure because that living taco has got to be taken care of. But Frank and Denise are not enough. So we went and we found a guy named Lawrence. So it's Frank, Denise, and Lawrence. And Lawrence is kind of a ne'er-do-well. He's got a couple front teeth missing. He's going to be my third adventurer. And I increased the week tracker by 1. So now we're on the second week. And even Mobile Suit, if I just cheated, because the boss was still in my way, I'm going to give myself my get 1 in the tutorial week, and then we'll actually deal with this. So now, prior to resetting the maze after week 1, but before starting week 2, do not shuffle the discovered final boss into the main deck. Place it on the final boss card space, and put his meeple in the final boss room. Now, I get those other bosses that I set aside, and I put them in the deck. And then I have another pile of cards that were main deck cards that were set aside at the beginning. So that first week is very much a, hey, you're learning the game, here's how not to die. Which I probably just would have died had I not slightly cheated. And now this is the deck for the rest of the game. So now, when drawing a card from the main deck, if the card cannot be connected to your path, you must attempt to connect it to the final boss starting room as long as the final boss path has not been connected to the entrance. If a card cannot be connected to either yours or the final, it goes in the hold. Regardless of whether the card was connected or placed in the hold space, it counts as the final boss's turn and your turn starts again. If the first card you draw during a run is a boss, you may choose to play it or you may connect it to the final boss path per the step above. So, I'm reading now the rules for round 2 on. The final boss turn. If a path has not been made between the final boss starting room and the entrance card, draw a new card from the main deck and connect it to a maze card that is connecting to the final boss card, attempting to make a path from the final boss card to the entrance. If there is a path to the entrance, the boss will start moving. So the idea is like that first run, we were sort of scoping the place out and we awoke the boss. He was just in the maze. Now the boss is actively trying to get out while we are exploring inside. So we're going to be going into the maze from the south here, and the boss is going to be working from the north, coming down, trying to get out. And we are trying to get there first. So now I have one more thing I have to read, and that is the benefit of my boon. Okay, so each boon costs a spark. There are 4 boons. The first one is the wizard boon. I wonder if I can... It had them listed, and it was very... The options were very funny when they were listed in here. So I'm seeing if I can find them. Nope, not like that. There it is, party buffs. Okay, so these are the 4 party buffs. Now, like we mentioned before, it's going to cost 1 spark for the first one, and it costs 2 sparks for the second one, and 4 sparks for the third one. And party buffs only last as long as you leave by your own volition. If you are destroyed, then they don't last. So this first one we have 4 options. We have the wizard, the barbarian, the warrior, or the rogue. We're going to go with the wizard. I think the wizard just always sounds like fun, so we're going to put our party buff on the wizard. Maybe that's what these little... Oh, these guys are so these little check marks, that's what I was pulling out here. These are like little, like spots. Now I've got the wizard. So I'm going to read the wizard text. While exploring the maze, the wizard you hired finishes reading their mystical book, How to Summon Great Creatures to Fight by Your Side When Exploring Dungeons and Other Potentially Undesirable Locations, and now has the ability to summon a stone golem. When you take this party buff, you add 1 die, the stone golem die, to your dice pool. Boom. Stone golem. I now just went from having only 2 dice and 2 adventurers to having 3 dice. I think it's Denise. Denise learned how to summon the golem. So now I have 4 dice. And he just counts as another adventurer. So I've got 4 adventurers that can take 4 wounds. Solid start. Okay, I'm going to get water, and I'll be right back. Get the ad break. The downside. Oh, this is going to be a long ad break. Be right back. Perfect. All right, we're back, and Denise and Frank are ready to continue their exploration of the living maze. So here we go. Boom, what's this card? Ceiling spikes. Now, the very first card I got, I cannot connect to my location, but I can connect it to the boss room. So now that counts as the boss's turn. Now I get to go again. It's another ceiling spike. This one I can connect. So the very first room we walk into, spikes drop from the ceiling. And I roll 1d10, and because it's the second week, I have to get a 3 or higher to successfully counter this, which I got a 3. My stone golem steps up and catches the spike wall, and Denise screams in glee. And that gets me 1 experience, and I have dealt with that trap. Trap dealt with. Then it's the boss's turn. So he draws a card. This is an acid pit. Boy. So the acid pit gets placed up here. Then it's my turn. This is we're just going to keep going back and forth here. So now I've found a healing well. I don't need to use any, but I might need to in a moment. So that healing well is beautiful. I haven't used it yet. Now it's the boss's turn. So this is a monster. This is Groknark the Goblin, and he's here. Wow, the boss is this might run a lot faster. That first round's the one that you really want to get as much as you can. Now it's my turn, and I found the Leeson, the Elven Assassin, and I can place him right here. He's got a defense of 1, a health of 2, an attack of 3. So I'm just going to check the showboat rules here. So that's the downside of the showboat. So when you fight, you have the option to showboat, which we talked about, where if you have as many dice as they have health, you could roll to showboat them. The way it works is you only roll the number of dice of health they have. So in this case, he has 2 health. I'm going to roll 2. And I have to get 3s on them. Oh, then I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to showboat. I'm just going to fight. So your risk reward is you're only rolling the number of dice equal to health they have. So in this case, it's 50% of my dice because he only has 2 health. So I would only get to roll 2 dice. Both of those would have to be 3s. They'd have to succeed to kill him to let me stack the artifact deck. I've already found the 2 coolest artifacts in there, I'm sure. Lightning gloves and a dagger that goes on to infinity. So I'm just going to hit him with all 4 of my guys and beat the heck out of him. So that was 3 successes and 1 failure, which means I dealt the 2 damage I needed to kill him. So I took out the Elven Assassin, and I gain a whopping 4 experience for that. Now it's the dungeon boss's turn, and this is the Warlock of Doom mini-boss. Bringing the dead back to life is the easy part. Finding willing subjects to die first, that's the tricky part. So, because I only have 0 artifacts, I only have to get 1 success to deal damage. He has 2 defense, 5 health, and he has 1 attack. And that was the boss's turn. So now, wow. So now the boss has a straight line to the entrance, and it's literally almost a straight line. If I choose to go fight that boss, which I think I can, and I will, we're going to do that. I'm going to go fight this boss as my turn, which means I move into his square, his room, and I'm going to battle him out. Now, when I battle bosses, I just fight them. Okay, so I have 4 dice. We're going to see how I do. So he was in that spot. Boop, there goes the artifacts. Okay, so his defense is 2, which means I got 4 successes. Right. They have different health for the number of artifacts I have. They get stronger the more artifacts I get. So for now, it's only got 5 health. So my two checks are, 1, did I hit the number of successes? And I got 4 successes, and I only had to get 1 to hurt him. And did I get over the number? And so I did. I got more than 2. Which means I dealt 4 damage to him. He's got 5 life. Which means he has 1 life left, so he gets to attack. So after I've made an attack, they attack. I can attempt to dodge by rolling 1d10. Boom. I got a 1. I doubt that's what I wanted. So I'm going to suffer 1 damage, because he only has 1 attack, which means 1 of my dice goes down. Then, we're going to attack him again. So this just keeps going until one of you stop. So that's 3 successes, 3 more damage. The Warlock of Doom has been doomed. So now, I get the 2 experience for killing him, which takes me to 1 spark and 1 experience. He's been taken out, and I get an artifact from one of the top 2. And we're going to take the Gauntlets of Fastest Attack, the Lightning Gloves, because they give me an extra whole round of attacking every time I fight a boss. And all these mini bosses count as that too. So that's there. That was my turn. Now it's the boss's turn. So the boss steps down because there's a way out, and I am going to take my turn to run back to the healing well and heal that 1 wound I took. And this Taco is on a warpath. He steps 1 more space. No, I'm not fighting the big boss. So Mobile, I might be messing this up. The way the bosses are worded, every boss has a final boss stat block that is what their boss stats are. And then they also have what is their mini boss stat block, which is determined on the number of artifacts you have. So regardless of what I do, my living Taco will continue to require 9 successes to fight. I don't know. Oh, and his required successes are reduced by 1 die for each artifact I own. So right now, I have to get 8 successes with 4 dice. He's impossible for me to fight right now. Because apparently you have to know a lot of stuff. Yeah, okay. So he moved 1 step. Now I'm going to continue exploring the maze in the hopes that I get more stuff. So I just got another passage card. The only place that it makes sense to put it is there. Up here next to the Warlock of Doom's room. I'm going to roll 1 die to search it. I got a 9. which means I get 1 experience. And he moves 1 step. Okay. So it's getting tougher and tougher. We're gonna try one more. That's the south card. We're gonna roll, so that's another open room. Now, everybody who's watching has just seen that I've done something really unfortunate to myself. I'm gonna roll to see if I get to find anything in this room. I got a 6, which means there's nothing here. And now the boss is here in the Doom room. If I try to go back out to the entrance and end this by choice, I have to face the boss. So we're gonna flip again. Excellent. It is another healing well, which I don't need to use. This healing well has been used already. I don't need to use this healing well, but it did give me this connection, which I was hoping for. The final boss takes 1 more step in. I'm going to move and choose to end this week. That's how quick the week ran after the first one, because the boss is now just going to get out, and I lose if he escapes. So now I lose my experience. I keep my sparks. I keep my gauntlets, and I reset the dungeon. So now it's week 3. We've got, this gets all shuffled back together. Main deck, done. It's now the 3rd week. I gain 1 more adventure because clearly this living taco cannot be allowed to roam free. And we start again. Top card. Cannot be played. Actually, it can be played. Has to be played over on the boss room. So it's right there. Then it's my turn again. It's a Gobbo, that Toothy the Gremlin. So I'm going to move up to him, and we're going to showboat this guy. I got a 2 and a 3. I needed 2s, and he only had 2 health, so I got it. Which means he's dead. A Toothy the Goblin. He just keeps showing back up. Get 1 experience, and I get to put an artifact that I like on the top. And I think something called the Summoning Amulet of Ghost Summoning, that's a pretty solid choice to be on top. So we're going to put that there. And the Summoning Amulet of Ghost Summoning adds the Ghost Soldier die to my dice pool. So it's in a way to get an extra Adventurer die. It's another die, which is probably this white one. So now it is the boss's turn. The Elven Assassin shows up and goes right there and builds out. It's a very funny, one of the things like here, let me read one of the texts here. This is a like lore box in the instruction manual. Insert some sort of witty flavor text here. You know, the kind that builds the world of the game and makes the player smile. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be witty, but maybe clever or at least creative and interesting, like, while not native to the property you recently purchased, on occasion a flying monkey can be seen fluttering around the nearby woods. The question you need to ask isn't how'd they learn to fly, but why would someone give them magical flying broomsticks, then teach them to fly? You know, some sort of flavor text like that. Heck, it can even be that, but I'd certainly be more impressed if you come up with something of your own. From the new management. It's just good. I like their sense of humor. So now it's my turn. It is that double hallway that we have come to know and love. Sending out Denise to explore it. She finds nothing. So we flip another one. This is for the boss. The boss is going to keep building out. Now it is my turn. A healing well. Works out. Don't need it yet. Boss turn. Boss found a healing well. Flame walls. And put that right there. So this is a trap. It requires a 5 or higher to successfully do, or an continuously more difficult bypass. What happens if you have a trap Okay, so I'm going to try to disarm it. If I fail, so I only get 1d10. If I fail, one of my adventurers are wounded. So we're going to roll 1. I got a 4, and I needed a 5. So this adventurer gets wounded, but this trap is still disarmed. He just hurt himself doing it, and I get the experience for disarming the trap. Then the boss is going to go. And he found a mighty Minotaur of Might. And it's a boss. And it's going to be right here. And it is the mighty Minotaur of Might once hit a man so hard the man turned into a donut. Or so the legend goes. All right. So to get okay, so the Minotaur is there. That was the boss's turn. I can make the decision to go and fight the Minotaur. I have to kill 2 bosses to get the next artifact. Unfortunately for me, until I get artifacts, the living taco is just going to walk all over me. So I'm going to start by going to this room for my turn and healing the 1 wound I have, which lets the boss move a space. Then, my next turn, I'm going to fight this boss. So he's... Well, you just fight him, so we'll see. I've got 5 dice. And the first round of combat with a boss, I can take 2 attacks instead of 1. So first attack, that's a very high roll. That's a 7, a 10, a 6, a 10, and a 1. So it has a defensive 2, and I have to get 2 successes. So I did that. I hit them 4 times. He happens to have 4 health, which gets me 2 experience, and I've defeated that boss. And the final boss is going to take another step. So now what I've got to do is I've really got to push. I've got to hope that I can fight a boss and get another mini boss down before the final boss gets outside. So we're going to try that. Flipping a card. It is a boss. It is Captain Cluck Calhoun. And he says, "Float like a butter chicken, sting like a bee chicken," says Captain Cluck Calhoun. And he looks like that. Maybe my camera's just blurry. I'm sorry. Sorry, everybody who's watching that can't see what things look like on that camera. You can zoom in on the good camera. So Cluck Calhoun, I'm going to have him come here, down to the south. And my Meeple Man comes down here, and we're going to start by fighting him. So I still get 5. I still have the Gauntlets of Fast Attack. So we're going to roll that puppy. I need to be higher than 2. Everything is. So I have 5 successes. So I deal the 3 damage he has in health and get him down. Which means I took out Captain Cluck Calhoun. Rocky punch to the face. And my XP increases by 2, which gets me 6. And that takes me to 2 sparks. And I get to now that I have 2 bosses down, I get another artifact. Oh, the Eternal. I know I pulled the Summoning Amulet of Ghost Summoning out. But the Eternal Blade of Eternity says if your attacks during the first round of combat is successful, deal +1 damage. And that just synergizes way too well with the Gauntlets of Fastest Attacks. Because I get to attack twice in the first round of combat, meaning both my attacks in the first round of combat can deal an extra damages, which is great. So the boss is good. The final boss takes one more step. I don't believe so now, because I have 2 artifacts, I need 7 successes to deal damage to him, but I only have 5 dice. So I still don't have, I can't fight him, or I'll get my butt kicked. I'm at 0 XP, and I have 2 sparks, which means I get a boon at the beginning of the next week. And I will get a 6th dice. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. So we're going to withdraw for now. We're going to bail. So on my turn, so the boss gets to move 1 more spot. I'm going to run to the entrance and end it. And leave the boss in the maze. Which resets all these cards. Come hither, cards. Okay. So all these cards get put in. We get moved to the 4th week. Shuffle those up. 0 XP. Dice pool's back down here. I get 1 more adventurer. Two, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So that's 6. And then to start the new week, I'm going to spend my 2 sparks to purchase the second there they are. Looking for the little check marky guys. To pick my second party buff. And for my party buff, I'm going to use the Rogue's party buff. And the Rogue party buff, because I just like their flavor text so much. The rogue of your party disappeared during a brief pause in wandering the halls and has come back holding an item that is pulsing with power and says, "Hey guys, look what I found hidden in a chest. Seems pretty neat." When you take this party buff, immediately draw the top card of the artifact deck. Top card of the artifact deck just happens to be the artifact Summoning Amulet of Ghost Summoning, which means I get another die, taking me up to 7 total dice in my dice pool. which means if I roll perfectly, and get every success, I can hurt him now. I don't know if I'm ready to fight this giant taco that has been terrorizing my dreams, but I am now to a point where if I did fight him, I could maybe kill it. So my turn begins. First boss. First thing is a Catface Clancy. Catface Clancy says, meow, 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 meow. And we're going to start. We just have to fight him. So here's my 7 dice. There's a lot of dice I get to roll now. This is kind of cool. Okay. So with 3 artifacts, I have to get over 4. So that is 6 successes. And that hits him for 6, which kills him, which gets me 2 experience. And Catface Clancy has lost 1 of his lives. Now the boss gets to go. Now, this is kind of weird. I don't know how to keep track. I guess I should just do this. So that's the first one that I've killed. This is going to mean my mini bosses that I've taken out in hopes of getting another artifact. So then the boss gets one. Smorknim, the walking thumb known as Smorknim, is a master of finger gun fu, the most useless of martial arts. Straight path. All right. Then my turn is a ceiling spike trap. We're going to try to do this in a more intelligent way. So on the 4th week, it takes a 5 up to successfully bypass the ceiling, or to disarm the ceiling trap. So we're going to try it. 5 up. That was a 6. It's been disarmed. And I get 1 whole experience for that. Then the boss gets to get a room. It's Vulician, the elven assassin. Now, I am fairly certain so you always, every time you place a card for the final boss, you're always trying to make it as short a line as possible. So you're going to be in a world of hurt pretty rapidly. So that's an enemy here, and the boss is pretty close to a connection already. Here's a Warlock of Doom. We already faced him, but now he's a little tougher. So here we go. We're going to roll all of our dice, see what we get. So for him, with 3 relics, he has a defensive 3. And that is all 7 of the dice higher than that, which means we took him out with his 6 life. So we get 2 experience and a second boss that we've killed on this run to get an artifact. The boss flips a trap card, and I flip a trap card, ceiling spikes. Now, this is the first time I'm going to be smart and not connect. I could have connected here, but I don't want the boss getting out. I want to get stuff from the dungeon. So we've got to try to disarm this trap, and it's a 5 up. Not good enough. That was 1 guy down, so I've been wounded. The trap is still disarmed, which gets me 1 more experience and a spark. And now the boss gets to go. And the boss found a skeleton, and the skeleton's name is Blue Flame the Undead. My turn. Oh, it's another boss. This one's Saul Slugsworth III.
What do you mean I have to come up with my own flavor text? Ugh, I hate being put on the spot like this. Let me think on it.
And we're gonna put him around there. So I'm gonna go fight Saul. I don't have my full guys, but that's okay. So his successes, I need 4 ups to get successes, so that is 5 successes. And he's got 7 life. So he's still got 2 life, but now I get to activate my Eternal Blade of Eternity and deal a 6th damage. So that's 6 damage to him out of his 7. And I get to roll again. Because of my gauntlets of fastest attacks, I get to roll twice. I get to do 2 attacks in the first round of combat. So I get to roll one more time before he can attack me. They have to be higher than a 4. That's 5 successes, which meets the success requirement. And that kills Saul. Sorry, Saul. So that's 2 experience for me. And that is my 3rd boss for this run. Now, if I find one more boss, I can get one more artifact, which would be great. So now it's his turn. And now with this boss, so he just got Dracon the Screamer, whose flavor text is And now it's our turn. And Denise and Sundry, we have 1 lost dice. Denise and Sundry are going to migrate up here to take out Dracon the Screamer in an attempt to get the last artifact needed. So let's see what Denise can do. They needed... So Dracon has a defensive 3, which means those 2 don't count. And you have to get 5 successes, and I only got 4. So that means I was not successful in piercing his armor. So we're going to try one more time because I have the gauntlets of fastest attacks. I needed 4 ups. That is all of the dice at 4 ups. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice at 4 up, which means I hit the successes requirement, and he happens to have 6 life, which means I get 2 experience. I've taken out Dracon the Screamer, and I get the top card of the artifact deck. And I found the Ring of... Let me try that again. Which does, each time dice are rolled for any reason, you may re-roll up to 2 dice. Well, that's pretty good. And now, so I've got 4 artifacts, which means I can now probably fight the Living Taco. And speaking of the Living Taco, I hear him coming. That's what Living Tacos sound like. It's my turn. We're going to keep exploring the dungeon in a hope that we can... so I found an open room. Weep. That we can find a healing station. I rolled a 7, which means nothing happens. Before I have to bail on this run. Because right now, the Living Taco has... I have to get 5 successes, but I only have 6 dice. So it's not terrible. But he's got a lot of life, and he's going to beat the heck out of me. And he could kill me. So he steps. Now I'm going to flip another card. It is that big old thing that Cascade won't like. A monster. And I got to run and face it, which is okay. It's, yeah, dead. And I get... So, I just rolled dice and said it's dead. But its defense is 2, which means I have 6 damage to it. And it only has 1 life. So, that's 1 experience for me. Tacos are coming. Floor spikes. Oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be a terrible plan. I have to go deal with the floor spikes. And I need a 6 up. Or I can just bypass it. Okay, we're going to bypass it. Okay, I bypassed it, which means I don't have to deal with it, but it's not fixed. All right. Okay. Here's the plan, everybody. I'm going to go try to hit the taco. So we're going to go to the taco. And we're going to punch it. And then we're going to try to run away. So I've got 6 dice here. I have to get 4s to hit him. And I need 5 of these dice to hit him. So we're going to see what we got here. So that's 1 that didn't. That's okay. Well, we hit him. I'm going to re-roll because of my ring of let me try that again. Every time I roll a dice, I can re-roll 2 of them. So we're going to re-roll this one. That was a success. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes of the 5 I needed, which means I get to do 6 damage to him. So let me set his life real quick. So he has at the start 16 life. And I just hit him with 6 dice, plus 1 for my Blade of Eternity, which puts him down at 10 even. And because of my lightning gloves, I get to attack twice in the first round of combat. So we'll try that again. This was not nearly as good. That's 2, 3, 4 of the 5. I do get to re-roll 2 dice. So we'll re-roll these ones. 1 more success takes me to 5 successes, which is what I needed. And because of my stabby Blade of Eternity, I get to do 6 more damage. And now he gets to hit me, which means he deals 3 damage, dropping my dice pool down to 3. And now at this point, I'm going to run the flip away. So when I run, let's see, where is it? Gotta find it. All right, so I'm gonna run away. I roll 1d10. It was a 2. I'm going to roll again because it has to be better than their attack value. That was a 4. If it is better than their attack value, you successfully dodge. Oh, wait. Before I take 3... Oh! I'm getting ahead of myself. So he gets to attack, and I get the chance to dodge it on a 10. So I'm going to roll a die. It was not a 10. I'm going to re-roll it. Not a 10. Okay. Took the 3 damage like we thought I was. Tried to escape. Successfully escaped. And then we are going to end that week there. So here we are. It's going to be the 5th week. So this is our 5th week fighting this evil living taco. And he's only got 4 life left. So as soon as we get to connect to him, I think I can take him out. And this is the last extra adventurer I get. So all of my guys heal. My experience goes down to 0. And I get the final adventure in my party, which takes me up to 6 adventurers, Ghost of Summoning, and a Wizard's Familiar. And now we're starting again. This will be the last week. Unfortunately, this would also be the last week that you have to beat it in the hard version of the game. So, first card is one of those corridors that we know and love. We're going to roll to see if we get anything good out of it. It was a 2, which means there's a secret passage, which I am not what I want. So we're going to roll again. There was a 7. There was nothing. No big deal. Now it's his turn. He flips over a card, and it's Orgnim the Ogre. Just a regular enemy. My turn. Dracon the Screamer, who, as we all remember, goes, "Ah!" And so we're going to face Dracon with all of these dice. Dracon, because I have 4 artifacts, has a defensive 3, and I need 5 successes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. He only has 6 life, so we took him out. So Dracon is down, and that is 1 enemy killed for my artifact gaining joy. And he found Toothy the Gremlin's coming out to play yet again, giving the boss a straight shot down to the... Well, I don't know why I'm acting like I'm going to roll dice. I don't get to yet. I'm not there. I'm just getting excited. There's a lot of dice. This is the right amount of dice to be rolling in your hand. When you have a number that is 8 in your hand, and you get to roll them, there's just a feeling. It's like when you have a big pile of money, I assume, and you get to like dive into the pile of gold coins. That's what it feels like with dice. Like this is power incarnate in my fist. So now it's his turn. No, my turn. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. So it's my turn. That's a ceiling spike trap, which I don't want to play with. So I get to roll... Actually, it's just 5 up. I get 2 chances. I got a 9. I disarmed it, which means I get an experience. Then he gets to play his card. It's a healing well. He's getting a straight shot down, everybody. He's going to be out of here. I flipped another ceiling spike trap. Try again. Okay, that wasn't good enough, but I have the ring, and let me try that again. I didn't do it, which means one of my guys gets hurt. But the trap is still disarmed. I still get the experience, not that it does me anything anymore. Now it's his card. And look, it's Catface Clancy. And Catface Clancy is just another boss. He goes meow, 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 meow. But now that's the boss's turn. And now he has what is the shortest route he could possibly have to meow, 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 meow to the entrance. Oh, wait, not yet. He is still 1 away. So on my turn, I'm going to flip it, and I found Ularg the Wolvamummy, who, if you remember, is a werewolf mummy. And I roll all my dice, and they were better than his defensive of 3. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He only has a life of 1, so the mummy's dead, and my experience increases by 1. So I'm at 5 experience. And now he flips. That is a held card, That is the Elven Assassin. It cannot connect to any path, so it gets held. And then he flips again. This one is the same thing. It's a north and south. It gets held. That one's the same thing. It's a north and south. And this one can get connected. It is the Flame Walls trap, and it's right there. Now it's my turn. It's a healing well, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. I go to the healing well and I use it, which heals me. Now I have all of my dice again. And then he flips. That is one of the gross monsters. It is my turn again. I have to deal with floor spikes. This one takes a 6 or higher to disarm. Or 2 up to bypass the first time. So we're just going to bypass it. I got a 3 and a 6, which means it's bypassed, but I have to face it every time. His flip. There. It's finally happened. The ceiling spikes have come into play. And now he has a straight shot back to the room. Now, we've got some options. I'm going to use my turn to go to this room and search it with the intention of re-rolling. Oh no, that was a 3, which means I now have the option of putting a secret passage right here. So now I've connected this as a straight shot. The reason I did that is my only way to get into the boss line here is to deal with this ceiling trap, and they're very easy to hurt yourself on. Whereas Catface Clancy, I'm going to kick his butt real bad, and he's not going to hurt me. And I've got this healing well that I can sit on and heal myself when I need to fighting the boss. So that's my plan for the rest of this game is I'm going to go take out the boss, but I'm going to try to do it strategically. So the boss is going to come one space. And then I am going to go fight Catface Clancy, the Meowsketeer, and roll it. So he has... I have 4. So he has a defensive 4, which means I got 4 successes. I need more health. I can reroll because of my ring of let me try that again. I can reroll 2 dice. One of those was a success, which brings me up to 5 total successes. Plus my +1 damage is 6 damage to his 5 health, which unfortunately, Catface Clancy has went out again. I take him out, gain a spark and an XP, and now the boss gets his turn. He goes, and he goes there. And now, everybody, it's time for the final showdown. And I am going to move into this space and fight the taco. The taco is gross, Cascade. When this stream is over, I will show you the picture and you will agree that that's what it sounds like. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 dice. We're gonna roll over here. I have to get better than a 4. That's every single dice better than a 4. And I had to get at least, 5 successes, and there are 8 successes there, which means for the final blow, I walk up to that taco and I took a bite out of it for 9 damage. And then I get to hit him again. I get to reroll. I hit him for 18 damage, which at full health, I would have killed him. that taco is in my belly. And if the taco in its alive form wasn't able to get out of this maze, it does get out in all of our stomachs. It's still a taco. A taco's a taco. And oh my God, what great timing for my camera to decide to stop working. I'm not gone though. I'm not really gone. So that was a fun game, right? Like, you know, we were able to fight a taco. My camera died. I think you can see me now, but I have no idea. What you can't see is how strange of a position the rest of my body is in for you to be able to see me like this. I'm kind of like planking onto my chair, and I'm on my tiptoes on my chair so that my butt doesn't put too much pressure on the side. And I've almost knocked over my water twice getting here. But this is for you guys. I can't respond to any texts because I can't see them. But, you know, I figured this would be a good place just to muse about the game. So, you know, the Living Maze, it's a good game. It's right here. You know, I don't know, again, how much anybody can see of me or where I am in the shop, but I assume this is fine. I like this game. It was quite fun. The box is really... Oh, my forehead's not flat enough. The box is really good. The gameplay was really fun. I like the story it kind of builds. Is like you're just some rando investor that gets saddled with this living maze. You walk into it and there happens to be a really gross like taco guy, and then you gotta face a taco guy, and you have to keep hiring more adventurers. And every week it's like, come on guys, come on, I need some more help. And eventually they stop showing up because this taco, when it gets out, all the tacos in the world will rise up. It's Night of the Living Taco. You know what I mean? And I really liked it. I thought the comedy was good. I actually just really enjoyed the whole game. I thought the gameplay was good. I hope you guys had a good time. I'm going to stop this, though, because my hips are having an issue holding me up like this. Maybe I need to stretch before I do these streams. You know, like maybe think about that I might end up on my back, suspended over the table, in a silly attempt to still be seen, even though I let one of my cameras die. And that's only happened a few times on the stream. So, you know, I really appreciate you guys. Anybody who's watching, thank you. Thank you if you've subscribed. It really helps out. I've, you know, been paid once total doing this, which is great. It was enough for me to, you know, buy a hat, which I haven't bought. I should buy, like, masks. That's what I should do. For King's Council, I should buy them masks. I got $100. Yeah, there was one, like, epic train, like, chugging along, and we really succeeded at making some money that day, so I should buy them all masks. Anyway, that was The Living Maze by Crowbrain Games. Thank you again, Mobile Suit. I hope you guys all had as much fun as I did, and now I'm going to try to get out of this position, but I think I can reach good enough to